Second. All right, it is 10:30, so I'm getting this show on the road. I'm hitting record, and we're gonna get going here, guys. Welcome. It looks like a lot of people are being thrown off by the new schedule because we don't have a lot of people here yet. But I just want to take a second and make sure you guys are doing okay. Is there anybody here that is on campus right now? Are you guys doing okay? How are people doing? Is anybody here on campus? Is everybody here just remote? I just want to make sure our people on campus are getting in. Is everybody doing okay? Can you guys type into chat? I need feedback. I need to see that you guys are doing well. Okay, so you guys are, is anybody here on campus? Okay, so you guys are remote so far. Anyone? I just want to make sure the people in on campus are being able to join in. It's a new schedule, guys, and we're first period, so I just want to make sure everyone is doing okay with the new schedule. Does anybody have questions about the new schedule? Right, I should start that. So anybody have questions about the new schedule? Does anybody have questions about the periods, the time, where people need to be? Are we doing okay? So again, I'm just double checking with you guys. Does anybody have questions about being remote or any of that? How are we doing? Do I have anybody who's at school right now? Are you guys doing okay? All right. You guys aren't giving me a lot of feedback. So, again, if you guys have questions about the new schedule, what this week is going to look like, so just a couple of general things to keep in mind. We have this schedule Monday, Tuesday, Wednesdays, and Thursdays. So we're going to do this 4 times a week now. Okay. So you're going to have this class at the start of every day, Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday. Okay. Is that clear to everybody? So yeah, only advisory on Wednesday. Okay, only advisory on Wednesday. That's a really good point. So we will have all classes. Yep, you're gonna have periods 1 through 5 every day except for Wednesday. So you will always start with this class. So it's a bit more like normal, for extended at least. But for your other classes, you're gonna be meeting twice as much. Yep. So you have all your classes. Does anybody else have questions about that? So you're going to always start every day in this class, and that's kind of nice, right? Because we can go, since we are an extended class, we can go a little bit slower. So if you guys need to start out the day with questions, we can do that. No, I am remote. I am remote. So class will be the same. Class will be the same. But we will have class every day. So what we're going to be doing is we're just going to have more time for practice. And also, my office hours, guys, are from 8:30 to 10 in the morning. So I want to type that into chat just to make sure everyone knows. So 8:30 to 10 a.m. are my new office hours, which are going to be the same office hours for the majority of your teachers. So if you guys want, and I know for some of you guys that's much better office hours. So if you guys ever have questions or you need a little bit more extra practice, you guys are always welcome to join in 8:30 to 10 for help with anything. Okay, any questions that you have. Okay, all right. So does anybody else have any other questions before we get started? All right. Thanks, guys. I really appreciate you. I know that this is a lot of change, but hopefully we're going to stick to this, and this is how we're going to end the school year. And hopefully there won't be any more changes, okay? All right. So what are we doing? We're reviewing for the midterm exam, right? This will be our last midterm exam. As you can see on the infographic that I have on the screen, this is day 1 of 3. So we're going to review for the midterm today, Tuesday, and Thursday, and then Friday we're going to take the exam in class. Okay, do you guys have questions about that? So you guys on Friday, you come to class. I'll have the final posted, the midterm posted, and you guys are just gonna work on it in class. Now that doesn't mean that I can yeah. So we're reviewing for the midterm. So we're gonna review for the midterm today, Tuesday, and Thursday. There's gonna be 3 days of review, and then on Friday we're gonna take the midterm exam in class. Okay, so what does that mean? It means that I have the midterm and I'll post it at the beginning of class. I'll send everyone a link and you guys can work on it and submit it. So that way we all have time to work on it. Now, if on Friday you're like, hey, I need more time, then I'll give you more time. I'll give you until Monday to finish it off. But the majority of us should be able to finish it in class on Friday. Okay? Does that make sense? Does anybody have questions about this week? We're just reviewing for the midterm and then we're taking the midterm on Friday. Yeah. All right. So we have a plan. So what we're going to do now is we're going to start by reviewing and being like, hey, what have we covered so far this trimester? And if you guys have questions, use chat. You can turn on your microphone if you have a question. And let's get this. I want to make sure you guys are feeling confident for this midterm. Okay. And remember, midterms, the midterm and the final, they're open notes. So as we're going through this week, if you're like, oh man, I haven't been taking good notes, make sure you guys are taking good notes because you can use those notes on your exam. Okay, so right, whether you're remote or in person, you can have your notes out. You can have your notes to work on the exam. Okay. All right, so let's get into this. So what is going to be on the midterm exam? Okay, so let's get that. So what sections? Sorry, just let someone in here. So what sections will be on the midterm exam? Oops. It helps if I spell midterm correctly. Midterm exam. Oof. Okay, so the sections are going to be 7.1. So 7.1 was adding and subtracting. So adding and subtracting polynomials. And polynomials just means more than one term. Okay, so that was 7.1. So we're going to be adding, subtracting polynomials. And again, through this week, we're going to do practice problems from all of them. And you guys, another good thing, we're going to have, since we have more time to do things, my goal is that we won't have homework anymore. Does that make you guys super excited? Now, some of you guys, right, it's okay if we work a little bit slower. So my goal is less to no homework. Yeah, right? Isn't that great news? So what we're going to do is we're going to use the first, Monday and Thursday to teach the new lesson. And then Tuesday and Friday, we're going to use that time to do work in class. Okay, so that's how this new setup is going to be. And it's gonna be the same amount of homework. It's just we're gonna be doing that, and we're gonna have a little bit more time to practice together in class. Okay, so that was 7.1, adding, subtracting, and then we did 7.2 and 7.3. Okay. That's where we did multiplication. Okay, so we're going to be multiplying polynomials. Okay, and if you guys remember multiplying is where we had 2x plus 3 times 3x. Right? Or we did 2x plus 3 times 4x minus 2. Okay? Now, we're not going to do those, but I'm just trying to give you like a heads up of what we are doing. Okay, so we're going to be multiplying polynomials. So adding, subtracting. Here, I can do a quick example of that as well. Okay, so that's like adding polynomials. Okay. And hopefully, and all I'm trying to do with this, guys, don't worry too much about getting down these specific examples. I'm just showing you like, oh yeah, we do remember doing that. We did that this trimester, right? So it's only going to be stuff that we did this trimester that we haven't tested on already. Okay, so we're going to spend some time talking about adding and subtracting polynomials. Then we're going to spend some time on multiplying polynomials. Okay. And then there's really only two more things after that. So then we skipped 7.4 and we did 7.5. So 7.5 was factoring. Quadratics. Okay, so factoring quadratics. So factoring quadratics was, right, like if we had, nope, we didn't do that. X squared minus 6x plus 12, and we did a box and an x. Okay, so again, I'm not going to do this one right now. I'm just showing you what we did, right? We took a quadratic, that's a 3-term thing like this, and we did a box with an x, right, with multiplying and adding like that. Okay, so I'm just highlighting things that we covered. That's all we're doing right now. Okay. And then we finished up with, so we skipped 7.4, but then we came back to it. And 7.4 was solving using the zero product property. And this is what we've just been working on, right? So that's what we've just been working on with solving using the zero product property, which just means if I have some A times some B equal 0, then A must equal 0 or B must equal 0. Okay. So that's the highlight. That's what's going to be on the midterm exam. So what we're going to do today, what we're going to do tomorrow and Thursday is just practice problems. So hopefully today and tomorrow we can get through a little bit of practice with each one. So that Thursday, you guys can be like, hey, Kreft, these are the things that I'm struggling with, and we can really focus on those, right? So as we go through today and tomorrow, I want you guys to help me out by telling me where we're getting stuck, where we need more help, and then that will help me give you guys a better review on Thursday, okay? All right, guys. So what we're going to do now is go through and do some practice problems. Okay. So let's do that. We're going to start with 7.1. Okay. So I'm going to flip this over. Yeah, I can go up for a little bit. There we go. Like that. So yeah, we're going to do a couple of practice problems now with 7.1, and then we'll do a couple of practice problems with 7.2, 7.3, and then we'll probably get to 7.5 today, and if we don't, we'll do it tomorrow, okay? That's the kind of the nice thing now about having 4 days is that we can spread things out a little bit more. Okay. So let's start with, we got 7.1. So 7.1 is adding and subtracting. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to do an adding example, and then we're going to do a subtracting example. Okay, so our first example that we're going to do is, and I want you guys to try this. Sorry about that. Yeah, that was my bad that we can't see it. Thank you. I appreciate you letting me know. So the first example, I want you guys to try this on your own. So we're going to have 2 x squared plus x minus 6, and then plus, and then we have x squared plus 4x plus 10. Okay, so try that one on your own. I'm going to give you guys a timer for this one. Okay, so write this problem down, and then I'm going to give you guys a minute. So what we're going to be doing, think of this as we got 2 shopping carts, right? So in this shopping cart, I have 3 items. And in this shopping cart, I have 3 items. And we're going to combine these 2 shopping carts to see how many items we have of each. Okay, so let's give that a try. All right, so again, think of this as 2 shopping carts. So we got 1 shopping cart, we got the second shopping cart, okay? And we're just going to combine items. So the first thing I'm going to look at is I'm going to look at, okay, I have my x squared, and I have my x squared here. So when I'm adding these, right? So I'm going to take 2x squared plus x squared, right? So see the plus right here? So if I do that, I have 2 here, I have 1 here, so that means I have 3 total, right? I have 3 total. Then I'm going to take a look at my x terms. So I have 1x here and I have 4x here. So I'm going to combine those. I'm going to say x plus, right? So I have plus here, 4x. So x plus 4x, that's 5x. And then my last one, I'm going to go, I have negative 6 and I have positive 10. So I'm going to go negative 6, and then again, I'm adding. So negative 6 plus 10. So that's going to be positive 4. Like that. And this is my answer. Okay, so 3x squared plus 5x plus 4. So again, think of it as 2 shopping carts, and we want to add them together. So can you give, and you guys, I just want private feedback. Can you guys send me a direct message and telling me how you're feeling about this? Like, are you feeling okay about this? Because again, if you guys are like, Kraft, I don't remember doing this, then on Thursday, we're going to spend a lot more time on this. But if you're like, Kraft, I got this, like, this is the, like, I'm going to ace this part of the exam, then we don't need to spend as much time on it. All right, good, good. So we got some people who are like, hey, this is really good. Yeah, I'm getting stuck. I'm feeling okay. I need more help. Yes, that's perfect. Thank you guys for the feedback. This really helps. Let's do, I want to build a little bit of confidence before we move off of this. So let's do another example. And let's see if we can build off this and feel better about what we're doing. Okay, so here's example 2. Let's do example 2. So for this next one, we're going to have 2 x cubed, so that's to the third power, so 2x to the third power, minus 5x squared plus x, and that's going to be one term. And then I'm going to add, and then I'm going to have 2x squared plus x cubed minus x. Okay. I'm going to give you a second to write that down. But then I want you guys to try this one out and see if we can build some momentum, if we can feel better, right? If you got stuck on the last one, see if you can get a little bit farther on this one. All right, so again, what we're gonna do, so this one maybe have been a little bit more tricky because I didn't write them in the same order, right? So that could throw some people off. But just like when you go shopping, right? Not everyone's gonna put the apples in the same place in their cart, right? So we gotta be able to look for the different ones. So for example, we have 2x to the thirds right here. So 2x cubes. So over here, this first one is an x cubed. This second one is though, right? So again, I'm looking for things that look alike. So I'm gonna have 2x cubed and then plus, right? Because I'm adding these, and then x cubed. So if I put those together, that's a total of 3x cubed. Okay, so I'm looking for things that look the same. And then if I look, I have negative 5x squareds. So over here, I have 2x squared, so that's going to be negative 5x squared plus 2x squareds, right? So it looks like somehow this person owed the store 5 apples, which, right, maybe they stole some? I don't know. So maybe the apple situation doesn't make sense with negatives. So negative 5x squared plus 2x, so that is negative 3x squared. And remember, you guys can always use Desmos calculator or a calculator to help you out with this. Okay, and then I have an x and a negative x, so I'm going to go x plus a negative x. Well, if I have 1 and here I have negative 1, that's going to be 0. And you don't need to write 0. We can just say, hey, the 0 is there. So that is our answer there. So how do you guys feel? Does anybody have questions or concerns about that? Hopefully, if you guys got stuck on the first one, you made a little bit of practice, or with the second one, you're like, oh man, I forgot that they don't have to be in the same order, right? So lots of good things. Well, we're also going to practice some subtraction. So a lot of the same skills with subtraction. So we're gonna practice one more with well, what do we got for time? We got here to 11:25. We can do another addition really quickly, but then we got to go to subtraction. Okay, so we'll do one more. Okay, let's do this. So we're gonna have 3x squared plus 4x plus 3. That's one term. And then we're gonna have plus 2x squared minus x minus 9. Okay, so there's your one more, and then we're gonna try some subtraction ones as well. Hey guys, sorry, just a second. I gotta make a note really quickly to check a video. I'll double check that. Okay, so let's go over this one. So again, I'm gonna look at, so it looks like my biggest term here is x squared. So I'm gonna compare these x squared. So I have 3x squared plus 2x squared. So that's 5x squared total. And then I have a positive 4x and a negative x here. So I have 4x and then, oh, right, the symbol is plus, so plus a negative x. So that's going to be plus 3x, right? Because 4 minus 1 is 3. And then my last one, I have a positive 3 and a negative 9. So I'm going to go positive 3 plus a negative 9. So that's going to be negative 6. Like that. All right. And it seems like some of us, we're going to need a lot more practice with this. So we'll keep doing more practice with this tomorrow and Thursday. Okay. All right. So now we got to do some subtracting ones. Okay. So now we got to do some subtracting ones. So the only thing that changes here, instead of adding, right? Do you see how we add all of these terms? Now we're going to subtract. And a lot of people make mistakes with subtracting. So I really, really, really suggest that you guys use a calculator, because calculators will help with arithmetic. Okay. So let's try this. So I'm going to try using a different symbol too. I'm going to have 4n squared plus 5. Ooh, it's just a 2-term one. And then I'm going to minus negative 2n squared plus 2n minus 4. Okay, so the only difference here is that up here, see how it was a plus, so we added all the like terms. Here, order matters, right? So this side comes first, and the negative goes in front of the second term. So I'm going to give you guys a minute. I'm going to see how you guys can do with this, and we'll keep practicing. Okay, and I just logged on YouTube, and I agree. 7.4 day 2 is there, but 7.4 day 1 isn't there. So I'll log in and make sure I can get that up on YouTube. All right, so let's take a look at this. So again, I want to identify the items that look the same, right? So the items that look the same is I got a 4n squared here, and then I have a negative 2n squared here. So when I combine these, right, I have a 4n squared, but look at what is in between. It's a minus. So I'm going to subtract a negative 2n squared. And I like to write it just like this. So I like to make my subtraction really big. And then the negative, I kind of put it up top. So that way I don't mistake it for just subtracting a positive. Okay, so what happens here, right, and this is where having a calculator is really nice, is you can just take those numbers out in front. So I can go 4 minus a negative 2. And when you go 4 minus a negative 2, the minus and negative makes it a positive. So we're actually going 4 plus 2. So this is going to be 6 n squared. And I would just want to stop there for a second because this is where a lot of people make mistakes. So if you guys have a question, please let me know. Okay. And then let's go next here. So next, I don't have any n terms over here, right? So there's 0n, right? Remember, nothing is 0. And then I have a 2n over here. So again, nothing is 0. I have 0n over here. And then I'm going to minus 2n. Okay, so that was kind of difficult, right? So there was no n term here. So that's the same as saying 0n. And then I'm subtracting the 2n. Okay, so what's 0 minus 2? Well, that's just negative 2n. Okay, that's just negative 2n. And again, if you guys have questions, please jump in at any point to ask questions. Okay, so again, there was no n here in this basket, but there was 2n in this basket. But I'm subtracting those 2n's, so it's 0n minus 2. And what's really cool is you can do that on the calculator, right? 0 minus 2. So you get negative 2. Okay, and then the last one here is I have a positive 5 and a negative 4. So I'm going to go 5 minus negative 4. So remember, be careful with those negatives. I'm going to go 5 minus a negative 4 in my calculator. Oops, sorry, the light there. And so I get positive 9. Okay, and that's going to be my answer. So again, I think especially if you're not using a calculator, this becomes more difficult because we have these minus negatives, right? And that's what gets really confusing and people like make a lot of mistakes. So again, if you don't have a physical calculator, just open up a tab with Desmos, and that's a great calculator that we can use, okay? So let's do one more, right? Let's do one more, and then I'll do a check to see how you guys are doing. Okay, so we're going to do one more, and then we're going to see how we're doing from here. All right, so let's take a look. So we're going to have, let's say we have 4x squared minus 3x plus 5. Okay, I'm going to put parentheses. That's my first term, or my first polynomial. And then minus, I have 3x squared minus x minus 8. Okay, so get that down. So it's 4x squared minus 3x plus 5. That minus the quantity of 3x squared minus x minus 8. So let's give you guys a minute and see what we can do. All right, let's see what we got. Let's see what we can see here. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to identify like pieces. So I'm going to have the x squareds. So I have 4x squared, right? That comes first. I always read left to right. And then minus 3x squared. So if I have 4 minus 3, that's just 1. So I'm just left with 1x squared. And then I look for my x's, right? So I have negative 3 here. I have negative 1 here. So I'm going to go negative 3x and then minus negative x. So again, I always put my minus right in the middle and my negatives up a little bit higher so I can remember it's a double negative. So in a calculator here, remember what's really going on here is -3 minus -1. So I have -3 minus -1. Okay. And I'm going to get -2. So this is the same as -2x. Okay. And then the last piece that I do here, I have a 5 and a -8. So I have a +5 minus a -8. I'm going to use my calculator again here to do this one. So I'm going to go 5 minus a -8. And I get +13. Okay, so there we go. That's going to be my answer. So like I said earlier, I want to do a little check-in with you guys. How are we doing? What questions do you have, and what can I do to help? We doing okay, guys? How can I help people? So again, can you guys just use chat, right? Use chat to be like, hey, I'm doing well with this, or I'm doing okay. Maybe you need some more practice. Are you guys getting stuck? Where are you guys right now? Yeah, if you have a question about a midterm, absolutely ask it. Does anybody else have questions though? Like, how are you guys doing with this stuff? I need to know if you guys are doing okay, if we need more practice. That's a great question. The midterm doesn't have a lot of questions. Like it's like 5 or 6. Need more practice. Thank you for letting me know. I appreciate it. So we're going to really have to come back to 7.1, right? With doing the adding and subtracting. Let's do one more of these, okay, to build some momentum, and then we're gonna go into multiplication, okay? So let's do one more of these. So here I'm gonna try to find some room here. So this is gonna be our last one of 7.1, and then we'll go and we'll do some multiplication. Okay, so let's try this one. Let's do 12t squared plus 5t minus 7. I might run out of room here. So 12t squared plus 5t minus 7. And then minus -4t squared plus 3t minus 1. Okay, so that's 12t squared plus 5t minus 7. And then we're going to subtract all of the quantity of -4t squared plus 3t minus 1. So I'm going to give you guys a minute to work on that, and then that will be our last one for today, for this section. All right, so let's go over this, and let's take a look at getting this done. So again, I'm going to identify, I got the squared terms. So it looks like I got a 12t squared in this basket, and I have a -4t squared in this basket. So I'm going to take that 12t squared, the symbol in the middle is subtraction, so I'm going to subtract, and then I have -4t squared. So again, with the subtraction, I put that in the middle and I put the negative up above, because we have to remember Subtracting a negative makes that a positive. So I'm going to, write addition. So I'm going to go here, clear this out. I'm going to take positive 12 minus a negative 4. And I'm going to get 16. So this is 16t squared. Okay, just like that. And then I have 5t in this basket, and I have 3t in this basket. So I'm going to go 5t minus 3t. Again, the minus, right, is what's in the middle. So 5 minus 3 is 2t. And then my last one is I have negative 7 here and negative 1. So I have negative 7 minus a negative 1. So in my calculator, if I go negative 7 minus a negative 1, that's going to end up being negative 7 plus 1. So that's negative 6. And that's going to be my answer like this. Okay. So again, with the subtraction and the negatives, guys, lots of areas where you can make silly little mistakes. But the more we practice, the better you're going to be at saying, hey, I'm not going to make those mistakes. Okay. All right, so all 6 of these examples were 7.1. So if you guys are taking good notes, then right here, we already, day 1 of 3 days, we already have really good examples for what's going to be on the midterm exam for this. Okay. All right, so that was 7.1. So what we're going to do now is we're going to take a look at 7.2 and 7.3. Oh, and good news, I found that missing video. For some reason, it just didn't get uploaded. So I'll get that uploaded in a little bit, okay? And that will be up. Okay, so 7.2 and 7.3. I have to, sorry, get back to my notes here. So 7.2 and 7.3. I'm just writing these down in case you guys want to look back at your old homework assignments or the book. So this is multiplying. Let me get some example problems for you guys. Oops, sorry, multiplying. So get some examples for you. Okay, so a couple of examples. And we can try one together, and then we can do one apart. So with multiplying, we use the box system, right? And with the box system, for example, if I want to multiply 2x minus 3 times x plus 5. Okay, so the first thing we're going to look at when we're multiplying, we're going to use the box method. Okay, and the way that the box method works is we're going to look at how many terms each one has. So 2x minus 3, that's 2 terms, right? The first term is 2x. The second term is negative 3. And then x plus 5, that's 2 terms. So I have x and I have 5. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a 2 by 2 box. Now, this is different than factoring. Remember, factoring is working backwards. So we're not working backwards yet. So I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to label these as what I want to multiply. And remember, guys, this is just like Punnett squares in biology or multiplication tables, right? That's what we're doing here, okay? So I'm going to take 2x minus 3, and I'm going to multiply that by x plus 5. And remember, we practiced this first, and then factoring is doing this backwards, okay? So all we have to do, so once you get your box, and it doesn't matter where you put them. So I put 2x minus 3 on the top. You could have totally put 2x minus 3 on the left. And you could have put x plus 5 on the top. So that doesn't matter. So don't worry about that. But what does matter is what we're going to do is we're going to find the small area. Cover these up. We're going to find the small area of this small little box. And then we're going to add up all those small areas to get our big area. So for example, here I have 2x times x. So if I have 2x times x, well, the 2, first multiply the numbers. So I'm going to have 2 times 1. So that's 2. And then I have x, right? I have x times x. That's x squared. Okay. So again, I just cover up these other boxes, right? And then I'm going Okay, what's the area of that small box? So I go length times width. Okay, then I want to find the area of this box in the upper right. So that's -3, right? So -3 is on the top here, times x. So that would just be -3x, like that. And then here I have 2x times 5. So 2 times 5 is 10. So this is 10x. And then I have -3 times 5. So that's -15. Okay. So all I'm doing, right, just like multiplication squares or Punnett squares in biology, I am just finding the area of each of these small boxes. Okay, so that's step 1, right? So find the area. Find all small areas. Step 2, right? So after we find all the small areas, we're going to add all small areas together. Okay, and that's all you have to do for multiplying. Okay, so you find all the small areas, and then we're going to add all the small areas together. Okay, so our answer here, right, is I'm going to have 2x squared, so that's one of them, and then -3x, and then +10x, and then -15. Okay, but you got to be careful here because if we can combine things, we want to do that. So notice, and this comes from 7.1, right? We combine things that look alike. It's called combining like terms. So if I have -3x here and I have +10x here, that's the same as 7x. Okay, so 2x squared plus 7x and then -15. That is my product. That is my final answer, right? So this right here is the same as multiplying these two together. Okay, so that's kind of our example on how to multiply. We draw the box, we find all the small areas. Once you find those small areas, we just add them up together, and then just look out. If we have things that we can combine, then we're going to do that. And how are we doing, guys? We doing okay? Is there any questions people have or anything they want to ask before we start doing some example problems? I know that we get out at 11:25, and I know some of you are at school. I hope you guys are doing well there. I hope everything is set up all right. So I'm going to end class at 11:23. I want to give you guys a couple of minutes if you're at school to figure out what's your next class, where it is, and what you need to do. Okay, so especially because it's the first week, right? So I do want to be done at 11:23 so that people who are at school can figure out their schedule and figure out where to go next. Okay. All right. Let's do a practice problem and see. I mean, like, it's one thing to look at Kref do it, right? It's another thing to be like, okay, I got this. Ooh, yeah. So I agree. Like, you got to figure out where you're going. Okay, so I'll give you guys a couple of minutes to figure out where you're going, shut down, and get going on that, okay? So let's try this next one. Okay, so example 2, we're going to be multiplying here. So let's do x minus 2 times 3x plus 6. Okay, so I want you to multiply those out and see what you get. I'm going to give you guys a minute to do this. Okay, sorry about that. That missing video is being uploaded right now to our class channel. All right, so let's go over this. So I take a look. This one has 2 terms. This one has 2 terms. So I'm going to go and I'm going to make a 2 by 2 box. Again, it doesn't matter where I put them, right? So I could put my first one down here. I could put my second one up here. It doesn't matter the order of where you place them on the box. Okay, so if you put them in a different order, that's okay. What matters is that we multiply and find those small areas, right? So 3x times x, this is 3x squared. I have 6 times x, that is 6x. I have 3x times negative 2, that's going to be negative 6x. And then 6 times negative 2 is negative 12. So now, right, so I found all the small individual ones. I want to add those together. So I'm going to take 3x squared, and then I have plus 6x, and then I have minus 6x, and then I have minus 12. Okay. Notice here I have positive 6x and negative 6x. Those are going to cancel each other out. So I just end up with 3x squared minus 12. Okay, and that's my answer. Okay, that's as far as we got today. So we're going to pick up here tomorrow. And because I want to make sure class is out at 11:25. I want to make sure you guys, if you have any questions, to ask questions. If you're at school and you need to figure out where you're going next, figure out where you're going next. So there is no homework tonight. So brand new is that we will only have homework if you do not finish what we're doing in class. And we finished everything that we're doing in class. So and this is a weird week because we're reviewing. So there won't be any homework because we're doing all the review problems in class. Like, for example, we just did 6 problems and then we'll do more. So tomorrow we'll start up with a little warm up where I'll have you add, subtract, and multiply. And then we'll go over factoring, and then we'll just do that. So there's no need for homework tonight because we're going to do all of it in class. So isn't that nice? Isn't that good? This is the best news about this new schedule, right? Because we meet each other 4 times, we can do everything together. Okay? So with that said, take care, everybody. Get to your next class. Remember, there's only 5 minutes between classes. So make sure you get hustle pump into your next class. Your next class starts at 11:30. Okay, so your next class starts at 11:30. So if you guys need to log off, bye, everybody.